Hey everybody, how are you doing? Hi. It's going to be a little bit of a different kind of video today. I've had a lot of people asking me questions about the UK government and how it all works, especially after the Labour Party won the election. And, I can see the pace at which they're working to rectify the mess that the Conservative government made of the UK after 14 years of being in power. Quietly, I feel sufficiently optimistic, right, to re enter the conversation about politics in the UK. And it's not just me. I can tell you that across the board, the feeling in the UK is that of optimistic calm instead of the frenzied despair and numbness to every kind of violation possible that used to exist. It's kind of sort of how the Americans felt when the Democrats won the election and President Biden took office after Trump's time in government. That's kind of how the people in the UK feel at the moment. So, before we go into it anyway, let me say hello to everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Isabella Bank's YouTube channel, where we discuss all things Harry, Meghan, and their level up journey. If you're new here, I'm Wheezy, and it's great to meet you virtually. Today, we're delving into the riveting world of the UK politics. I know. It sounds like it should be as dry as watching paint dry. But stick around, because I promise to make it as entertaining as the Kendrick Lamar and Drake rap beef. That's indeed a big claim. But let's see how I do before you throw tomatoes, okay? All right. All right, let's break down the British government. Guys, think of it as a very posh, very complex tea party. Okay? So the first player in the game is the prime minister. Imagine if the president and the speaker of the house had a baby. That baby would grow up to be the prime minister. The prime minister is the head honcho, the big cheese, the one who gets blamed for everything. Currently, that's Keir Starmer. He is the current CEO of the UK. But guess what? He definitely has less money than an average CEO would be. And of course, more headaches because, of course, he's governing the whole of the UK. So, what do you expect? The second party on the board is the parliament. This is where all the magic happens, or should I say, where people shout at each other with fancy accents. It has two houses, the House of Commons and the House of the Lords. And the House of Lords, okay? The Commons, right, is like the House of Representatives, but with more sarcasm and more gun control. The House of Lords are like the Senate in the US, but with robes and certainly more naps. So, guys, are you with me so far? Okay. The third player on the field is the cabinet. Voila. Think of the cabinet as the PM squad. These are the ministers who head up various departments like health, education, and so on and so forth. They advise the prime minister and make sure that the country is running smoothly. Or at least that's the general idea. And let's not forget the last player on the field, which is the devolved governments. Now, the devolved governments are those countries, they should be independent countries, but because the UK actually took them over, should we say colonized them, now they're part of the British government. So, in a sense, these people, it's just that um, they're not part of the Commonwealth, but it's a similar type of arrangement that the UK has with these people. You've got Northern Ireland, and you've got Wales, and then, of course, you've got Scotland, you've got the Scottish government. These devolved governments, they have their own parliaments, assemblies, and handle their own local matters. But the UK, that is England, has oversight over the devolved governments like Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It's kind of like giving the kids their own rooms, but still kind of keeping an eye on them. Oh dear. Guys, before we go further, if this is your first time on this channel, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a like button and leave and click the like button. Leave a comment or two in the comment section. If you've visited this channel before and you haven't yet subscribed, let today be the day you decide to subscribe. For all those who have been rocking with me from the beginning, thank you. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section and hit the like button, please. Very important. You guys know the deal, right? All right. So now let's hop across the pond and see how the Brits stack up against the Americans. Are you ready? Okay, let's do it. So, where the British people have a parliamentary system, the Americans have a presidential system. In the UK, the prime minister is not directly elected by the people. So, how does he get to become the prime minister? I can hear you asking. Don't worry, I've got the answer for you right here. In the UK, the prime minister is the leader of the party that wins the most seats in the House of Commons. It's like if the quarterback of the winning Super Bowl team automatically becomes the president. In the US, you vote for the president directly. It's like a popularity contest, but with more at stake than just being the prom king. Right. So, what else is do we have to think about? All right, the different types of how the houses, the lawmaking bodies operate. So, in the UK, you've got the House of Commons, similar to the image you've got in front of you, and in the US, you've got the House of Representatives. The House of Commons is where the MPs, that's the members of Parliament, sit. They're elected by their own constituencies. Constituencies. There are some words that just twist my tongue, and this is one of them. I have struggled with this word all day. Constituencies. Okay, that's better. Now, it's like if each congressional district, right, sent someone to Washington, but these representatives had to wear funny wigs. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's true. They don't do that anymore. Woo! Progress for people that like to stay in the 1600s. That's indeed progress for the UK. All right, what else? Uh, yes, the monarch. So, what's the role then of the monarchy, right? What's the role of the monarchy in the UK? The monarch, yes, the UK, as you all know, has a king. The monarch's role is, on paper, mostly ceremonial. It's like a mascot for the country. Imagine if America had a national mascot who had to approve laws and wear a crown. No, not the bald eagle, but close. But did you hear me say on paper? Don't be fooled by the word ceremonial. The whole of the UK used to belong to the royal family. Yep, the whole of the UK used to belong to the royal family. It is only over time that, with the advent of laws, that most of the land, which used to be the thing which the UK or the royal family held as an indication of their wealth, through modernization and development of civilization, then they had to give up a lot of the land. But in giving up a lot of the land, they still have more or less the highest percentage of land ownership in the UK than most private individuals. So it is publicly stated that the UK royal family are worth about 80 billion. A lot of, I think that we would suspect that they own a lot more than that, and they're just not disclosing how much they own. I think that they have a lot of contracts with the current government about the uh, payments that the government makes to them, the British royal family, which they do not disclose and which they don't necessarily even have to work for, to be honest. But they make a show of getting up to do something which represents work. All in all, I feel like we should consider and state that their power and influence far exceeds the outward appearance that we see of the royal family. So, how does this all then work? How does this work in practice? Okay. So, first of all, every Wednesday, you have the members of parliament come together to grill each other on various aspects of their portfolio. I think the you've got something similar in America, which is filmed on or recorded on C-SPAN when the members of parliament or the members of representative get together to discuss and vote on laws. It's a similar kind of thing in the UK, but in the UK, it is every week. Imagine if the president of the US had to do a live Q&A with Congress every week. That would be not only unusual, but freaking terrifying. Just imagine the kind of things that would happen, especially if you had somebody like Trump in power. Woo! Then you've got the MPs who have the duty to pass the laws of the land. In the UK, a proposed law is called a bill, and it must go through several readings and debates in both houses. It's kind of like the American schoolhouse rock, but with more tea breaks. Eventually, the bill needs to be the king's signature to become law. Yes, yes, yes. He has to sign off on it, but it's more of a formality. No monarch has ever refused to sign any bill ever. Well, not yet. Having said this, this might not be, don't be fooled by the ceremonial signing of the monarch because all negotiations that need to take the king's interest into consideration would have taken place before the monarch's signature is required. Okay? So, what do you think of everything we have discussed so far? Are the pieces beginning to make a little bit of sense? So, I'm going to stop the information bit right here, as I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information at one time. I'm going to have a look at the questions or comments in the chat and see how we get on. Okay, right. So, going back. Sussex Love says, "Hi fam, I don't understand the term ceremonial because if it didn't really matter really, and it's just on paper, why did they make Queen Elizabeth get out of her deathbed to sign that stuff?" I think that there is a lot more behind the scenes that they don't tell us about. The monarch has a duty to sign these documents, and then the nothing can be done without the monarch's signature. The reason why it is phrased this way is because the monarchy used to be the ones ruling, right? And it was when civilization took place, then they got the monarchs out of the position where they could rule the country. And so they are then, but made a contract with the public, the government officials, really, to say, okay, we're going to stop ruling. We're not in the seats, but anything you're doing, you have to take our interests into account. You can't pass any laws unless we sign it. We're just not going to be in parliament passing the laws. So it's sort of like you've kind of got them in a position where they are using, should we say, the parliament um, to carry out what they need carried out, but they have to be skillful in the way that they hide behind parliament because they are no longer allowed to be in government. Lord, what did Lorna say? Lorna says, but the House of Lords is now stacked with titled landowners and Conservative Party appointments because they were in power for 14 years. It may be hard for this new government to pass bills. Yes, yes, yes. I think that is absolutely correct. It may be hard for them to pass bills, but a lot of what is needed, it may be difficult for them to pass new bills, but I think we have to be optimistic. And a lot of what is needed has already been done. And when the conservative government came into power, they basically banned, put on hold, suspended certain things that the Labour Party are interested in. So if you notice, I think when the energy minister came in with the Labour Party's new win, they have removed the ban on the wind turbine, wind turbines, which the Conservative Party allowed themselves to be lobbied into stopping, wasting so much money because the investment of the uh, wind turbines was something, the investment of the wind turbines by the previous government, the investment of the on the wind turbines by the previous government is something that the Labour Party have now reshown their interest in. So they would have to negotiate anyway, because I'm sure that there are certain checks and balances which would not allow the House of Lords to keep rejecting every reasonable bill. Remember, every reasonable bill. Yep. Sussex Love says it seems like the monarchy still has a say in what's going on behind the scenes, and then they sign. Yeah, but yes, that's exactly the point that I'm trying to make. Not as much as the day to day, not so much in the day to day, but they have what I have been trying to explain for the longest time is that the monarchy does still have a lot of power because they ruled for centuries before civilization came in and we now began to have a democratic government. So they ruled for the longest time. They own a lot of land. They have a lot. They are very, 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 very wealthy. And I'm sure they keep each other's secrets as well. So, yeah, yeah, they do have a lot of say, but there is a check in the sense that they can't go overboard and undertake the day to day governance of the country. I think part of the reason why the a lot of people criticize Prince William for his homelessness vow his vow to cure homelessness, because it kind of looks like it should be a it's a bit of a dicey one, because you might say, well, we've got a minister for housing and development. Why do we need a member of the royal family to tackle homelessness? Well, because it's also a human interest issue. Anyone can undertake something in the form of charity to take care of homelessness. But if you notice, a lot of the reporting on it was kind of critical. And that's because it's almost kind of stepping on the government's toes in that respect. Lorna says, I think the hardest bill that this new government would have a hard time passing is a tax on the rich. For real, for real. But there are other things. Everything is negotiation. I know we've been traumatized in the UK for a long, long time, but I'm kind of optimistic because I know that everything is negotiation. If you look back at the graph that I showed you of, yeah, the Labour's majority in the House of Commons, you will see that the Labour won. Sorry, well, I think the other day I was talking to Sussex Love, and I say the seats were 326. No, they're actually 650. I think I got that figure from looking at a screen, seeing how many seats Labour had won. The Labour has there are 650 seats in the House of Commons, and Labour won 411 of those seats, which is a spanking majority by any stretch of the imagination. The Conservatives only have 121. So if the Conservatives have a bill that they want passed, they're going to have to negotiate with Labour. And if they go ahead and tell their compatriots in the House of Lords not to pass any of Labour's bills, then what's going to happen is that they won't get any of their bills passed either. So they will be at a standstill. Meanwhile, Labour can get on and do those things that they need to do, yeah, without the Conservatives, because there's so much to do. Just a little bit of what they have done has already calmed the country down. Have you noticed? It has already calmed the country down to a large degree. Sussex Love says, since the British taxpayers fund their lavish lifestyle, it seems like William, if he was serious, could go to his 350 million salary and build all the homes necessary. He would still be a billionaire. That's assuming that William cares that much. Look at this, his homelessness project that he keeps touting and which he is taking credit. He's not even putting a penny of his own money into that project. He's not putting one penny into that project. It's all going to be donations from business people in the areas, in the 6 areas where he is going to be sort of like doing a pilot launch of the project. He has selected 6 areas in the UK, and he is basically canvassing the businessmen in the area to donate 500,000 an area. When you multiply that by 6, that makes up the 3 million that William is talking about. He's not putting in a penny of his own money. It's all the local rich men. So if your area doesn't have a rich man, so sorry for you. You cannot get a visit or from William or have any charity done for in your area by William. Okay. So it is vastly different from the presidential system of government. But I believe that there are a few checks and balances in place. The first year might be a bit tough because as you can imagine, the Conservative government had 14 years. 14 years. And I think it's like that with every organization, every company. When you get in there, the old guard are going to be resisting the changes that the new guard are bringing. Yes. Lorna says, I heard that William is contributing less than 1% to this. He's not contributing a penny. He's not even contributing 1%. The funds for the new project are supposed to come from donations by the businessmen and uh, the businesses in the area where the pilot projects are going to take off from. Not contribute. He's just basically an ambassador for the homelessness project. Let's put it like that. And those people, I think the benefit to them is that they will have royal family endorsement, and they're ready and willing to do anything for that. So there it is. Anyway, guys, since I had a couple of questions about this in my emails, in conversation, and in the comment section of a few of my videos, I thought we would tackle this and tackle it as a series. So, in my next video, I will be discussing the legislative process. That is how bills are passed, who does what, and the powers each person has. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and click the notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. Uh, I hope you enjoyed this session. That's all I have for this evening. I'm going to look at one more comment and then I am going to sign off. Bonnie Mighty says, if William gets the money through businessmen who are, and they claim it back in taxes, yes. Yes, absolutely. If William gets the money through businessmen, then they will claim it back in taxes. It's like giving money to charity. When you give money to charity as a business person, you get the money back. You can claim it in your taxes. Sussex now says, then what the hell is the documentary about with William? He's the brand ambassador for this project. Let's put it that way. He's the brand ambassador for the project. So he's pushing it. And he needs the PR. The royal family have been in a tailspin ever since the Sussexes stepped back from working as senior royals. They could have behaved themselves, but they didn't. So now they have been working overtime to try and change the narrative on any area where they have come up looking bad. He is just the brand ambassador for the homelessness project. I think, if you ask me, I think that they are going to have a little bit of an issue. That is the royal family. I think, as much as they have to invite other members of the political parties to their events, but if you look at it, the Labour government and the royal family's agendas do not necessarily align. So I think they always prefer to have the Conservative Party in government. So a lot of the freedoms that they were having and getting with the Conservative Party, I don't think that they would have as much of those freedoms. But it all remains to be seen. But I like what I'm seeing so far. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. That's all I have for this evening. As I said, in my next video, we're going to be discussing how bills are passed. And I hope that you will be here with me so that we can have a better understanding of how each other's governments work. Thanks for being here with me. Until next time, it's Wheezy signing out. And I will use Sussex Love's comments. God bless you, family. See you on these Sussex streets to sign out. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye.